Hello. Sorry I didn't record any videos yesterday, guys. You may not have even noticed. So it is Friday the 20th, and I am going to do my best to keep up with these. I think next week, once I get into a rotation, I set up my kids' desk right here, so they'll be doing their homework as well. But it's okay that we took care of ourselves this week, if you did. If you didn't, start. What I mean by that is rest a lot, get your sleep that you need. Teenagers need 10 hours of sleep a night. Sorry, parents. But it's science. It's called The Teenage Brain by Francis Conway. Check it out. So sleep, eat as well as you can, drink lots of water, those types of things. And I hope that you're able to socially isolate or socially distance, right? We're not in isolation yet, but it could come. So with that being said, like, don't go and hang out at stores, or malls or movies or anything like that. But, go for a walk. Try not to touch anything. When you get back, wash your hands really well. Get that fresh air. FaceTime with people, right? That's self-care. Or, any other video chat, Zoom. If you want me to set up a Zoom and we can chat, that's fine. I'm cool with that as well. And then you can ask us questions and things like that. I think that's going to come in weeks, once the 27th happens. If we go back to school, all right, I see you guys and I love you and I can see your wonderful faces. If not, I want to see your wonderful faces. So we'll do Zoom and I'll set that up for us. But for right now, and they've expanded where kids can get lunches this week. So check out the website, as always, the MCPS website, and they will show you that information. All right, so this is the next worksheet. We had just finished doing this. I'm going to try to keep it, all right, it's just right now, try to keep it short. We will do some and won't do the others, etc. Remember this? Where we figured out which numbers, I didn't do it on yours. I did it on the other classes. So, but anyways, this worksheet, you did it, right? So on the top is that number that we multiplied to, right? We multiplied to this one, and that says multiplied. Doesn't look like it, but it sure does. Zoom in. We want to multiply these numbers on the top and add on the bottom, right? Well, this is that. So if you've seen this, then fast forward through it. But basically, we want this times this to be this. Well, that is 96. And we want this plus this to be down here, so that's 20. Well, we are going to transition into this. And you're like, how do those relate? Well, what these numbers mean is that oh, I must not be signed into the right thing. I'm going to set this. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, hold on one second. Let me stop sharing for a quick sec. All right, I don't know how that erased, and I can't figure out exactly what it is. So I'm just going to ignore it and keep on going. Don't mind the sun coming in. All right, so we want to multiply to this top. So this is the 96, and we wanted to add on the bottom to 20, as I said. Now, what this is this, all right? And let me tell you what that is. So the typical way, and I'm not loving that they gave other variables here, but the typical way that you're gonna see a quadratic equation written, aside from the vertex form that we've been doing, is going to look like this. It's gonna say ax squared plus bx plus c, all right? So normally the x is the variable. Now it doesn't have to be though, and obviously because right here it has b's. So we can use b's, right? So what we have is whatever's in front of your squared term is your a value. Whatever's in front of your variable term to the first power, that's your b. And then here in the back, without a variable attached to it, is your c. All right, so the way that we factor these, boom, boom, you make your x, your own x. What goes on the top is the numbers multiplied. So we have a times c. So whatever's in front of your squared term, as well times your solo term, your constant term, right? That happens in here. Now, these we're going to start with a 1 in front of the square term, so cool. So 1 times 7 is 7. And then what goes on the bottom is your b, so your middle term, so your 8, okay? Just that. This is the same thing as we've done before. So if you haven't watched the 2B worksheet, then this is not going to make as much sense. If you have watched the 2B worksheet, then this should be good. So I want to know what numbers multiply to get 7. What are your factors of 7 that multiplies to get 7, but add to get 8? Well, 7's a little easy because it's only 1 and 7. And all these are positive, so correct. So this is 1 and this is 7. Okay? Now, what I'm going to suggest to you at this point is actually whatever numbers are in there, and it'll get a little bit more complicated, but let's do the easy one first. Basically, whatever you have here, this is going to go into the factored form, all right? Your first part of this is always going to be the square root of this number, right? Because b times b is b squared, okay? Then whatever numbers are in this spot, this one and this one, become your other parts here. So this is going to be b plus 1, and this one's going to be b plus 7. And that's how it factors. Okay, so let's look at another one and see how that goes. Okay, so here, again, I'm going to make my x in blue. So a times c is 10, and then my b term, and I'm going to include the sign in front of it. So the sign in front of it is negative 11, so it needs to be a negative 11. Okay, factors of 10, we have 1 and 10, 2 and 5, and that is it. So which ones add to negative 11? You say, well, that doesn't add to negative 11, but they either add to 11 or 7. This is negative, so we have to take that in consideration. So 1 times 10 is 10. Negative 1 times negative 10 is also 10. Okay, so in order for this to be a positive and this to be a negative, we would need it to have the same sign, right? So this same sign, sorry about the wind, because I'm not closing the window, it's going to be too hot in here. If it's crazy, I'll stop doing that. So this is going to be a negative 1 and a negative 10, because negative 1 plus negative 10 is negative 11. So when we factor that, right, it's going to be n times n, and we're going to use our plus 1. Oops, not plus 1. It is a minus 1, in fact. We're going to say minus 1 and minus 10. Okay, so that's what we're doing so far. And watch the video, get a couple things. Nah, maybe I'll do one more just because 3 sounds like a good number. Yeah, and I'm happy to do more if you want me to, but I don't want to, you know, just do this over and over again if you're saying like I get it. So here's 1 times negative 90. So that's a times c, so that's a negative 90. And then the middle term, well, there's no coefficient, so what does that mean? It's a 1, right? So there we go. So I can list all my factors of 90, right? And I want to, I know it's a negative 90, so that means it's mine plus minus and minus plus. That's what I'm minus plus, because they're opposite. So we have 90, we have 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 4 does not go in, 5 does because it ends in 0. So that's going to be 1, and then we're left with 18, right? And then 5, 6, no, right? Because it does. Sorry, 6 and, I'm doing this real time, 6 and 1, 15, right? 7 doesn't go in, 8 does not go in, 9 does, 9 and 10. All right, so those are my factors. So I want to know I have to have 1 positive and 1 negative, so they're opposite signs. So I'm going to ask myself, how far apart are these numbers? 89 apart, 43 apart. You don't have to know this, but I'm showing you. 27 apart, 13 apart, 9 apart until I embarrass myself and don't say the right number. There's one that's going to be 1 apart. I want it to be a positive 1, so that means I'm going to want my 10 to be the positive and a negative 9 to be my negative. All right, so if I factor those, my term here is m. I'm happy when they switch it just to x's, but it doesn't matter what your variable is called. So that's why we show you that, but it's just easier when you stay consistent. Okay, so m plus 10, m minus 9. All right, so that's it. I hopefully kept this to 10 minutes. We'll see when it renders or does things automatically. I love technology. So again, thinking about you guys a lot, hoping that you're doing all right. I hope that you are distancing as much as you can. If you are working, if you work in a grocery store, if you work cleaning and you're doing, you know, those things right now, trying to help your families and such, like, I'm so proud of you. For those of you that are home watching your siblings or cousins or whoever that you're kind of hanging out with, thank you. Okay, I know that it's really tough for adults right now, and that doesn't make it any easier on you guys, but I know that you guys, that my students in particular, since I know you, are very good and conscientious people, and you take care of each other. So keep doing that. If you need to like relieve some stress and just be like, oh, I just want to complain about my mother for a second, or oh, I just want to complain about my 2-year-old sister for a second, because I have a 2-year-old around. She's luckily napping right now. And you just need a break. Just let me know. I can listen. I won't say anything. I might say something. I'm kind of talking. All right, let me stop the share and say, see you in another video in a minute. Bye.